Heaving, Duskwood catches her breath, safe and sound behind laminated glass and a steel door. She has a moment to collect herself. Her plan to lure the dead from the mall out towards a great blaze is working in part, but right now, the whole region is stirred up like a great hornet's nest, and within that nest lays her brother, weakened, on the edge of death and surrounded. Dusk has a long night ahead of her. Thankfully, it is only 1 o'clock, yet with her distressing pain and a hunger growing in her once again, she'll need to give herself the best chance she can if Elliot has any shot at all. Kia ora, Legionnaires, Rycon here, and welcome back to Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead, No Hope, where that subtitle seems truer as every episode goes by. Looking out of the glass here, Dusk can see one of the dead just lingering there, swaying as it moves. Now, we are in distressing pain still, so we're going to need to be cautious with how we try and deal with things. But right now, we can't use any of our powers because we are in just too much pain in general. Okay then, well, while we're in here, I am going to grab these memory cards, and there is a survivor's note in this desk. Let's see what they have to say to us. Can sustain self forever off of my fungoloid babies out of me arms. Eat them up. Eat my children. Okay, let's not do that. But speaking of eating, we do need to eat, and thankfully we do still have quite a bit of smoked meat here. We also have the candies that we have as well. The dead shouldn't be able to get to us. They're not going to be strong enough to break through this glass here. So yeah, we're going to eat our seeds as a pastime activity, knocking down some wafers as well. We're just peckish now, which is good. We could probably push a little bit further. We've spotted a skeletal dog now as well. We're satisfied at this stage, which is decent. We haven't actually spent that many calories because it's only been an hour past midnight. Now, distressing pain. Let's just see if we are... Okay, we are under the effects of some painkillers at the moment, and you can see that we're soaked from the amount of sweat that we've been producing here. So let's try and use our towel before anything else, and then we might try and use some heftier pain killing. Yeah, let's dry ourselves clean, and then what do we want to do? I feel like we've already taken some tramadol, we've already taken some codeine. We want to be careful that we don't push it over the edge. We'll take some ibuprofen and we'll take some more codeine, because I do think that we are going to need that bit of extra pain killing, and it's going to take a little while before that does take effect. Our arms are pretty injured at the moment. The bandaging isn't great on them. Even if we do make it really good, I don't know if it's going to, if we're going to see any healing, because we'd have to wait anyway. We are going to do it just because I think it's going to be worthwhile. Very good does take a while for it to kind of break down anyway, and we're going to use some proper antiseptic on those as well, because we want to make sure that they are going to be good. And yeah, there's nothing on them at this stage. There we go, on the right arm, and we'll probably also do it on our torso as well, because that has gotten pretty wrecked by rocks. And I don't know if we want to use gauze. We'll just use a regular bandage for now on that torso. And now we've just got moderate pain, and we still have more dead out here. So I want to try and see if we can just mind hammer them from here just to get a little bit more damage off, or, outright kill them. We've staggered that one there. The skeletal dog shouldn't actually take that much damage to kill it. And sure enough, it doesn't. We managed to take it down there as, oh boy, we have some other friends here. Now we don't have to kill all of them, right? We could always just kind of duck out of here, and then head back up towards the surface and in the direction of where Elliot is. But eventually these things are going to be a problem. So I feel like we probably still need to try and deal with them sooner rather than later. So we're going to come out the top here first of all, and we're going to try and see if we can, first of all, change over to Tai Chi, and then get ready to strike down our enemies. So let's get you coming next. And as long as we're kind of waiting here, we should be able to get that kind of practiced, timed strike where we can knock our enemies back. I'm a little nervous about the Devourer, but then again, in saying that, we should also be able to knock it back pretty far. The same should be said for the Tough Zombie. The Tough Zombie's kind of just guarding the stairs at the moment. So let's see. Let's get you moving on over towards us, and then we're going to use our force sharp. Oh, hang on. We have an option now, push or pull, shove a target away from you. Interesting. So we just shoved you back there. So far hand, let's have a look at that. So there's force shove here, and then far hand, move a set of items towards or away from you. So far hand, it's specifically for the items, where force shove, I think, is for a target. Shove a target or pull it towards you with a burst of psionic force. The distance the target can be moved depends on its weight versus your power level. Heavier things will not go as far, and if your target is too heavy, you may not be able to move it at all. So this is the kind of balancing that we've seen coming in with this, and I do think that this is a good idea. Otherwise, it's just too easy to rely on force shove. And it's good that far hand hopefully uses a little bit less stamina. It takes a little bit longer to cast. And yeah, that is specifically for items. So yeah, if we do want to try and grab something from underneath of a creature, we are going to be able to do that. So I kind of like that as a feature. Okay, so Devourer, it is large. Let's see how we go for pushing that back. I do want to move down here first of all and see if this is going to be possible. We shall push, and we can shove you away. We do have level 14, so that's pretty damn decent, really. I don't know if we want to try and fight that thing close up. How is our dodge at the moment? Our dodging is 6.3 in terms of the skill, so we should be pretty quick on our feet. Let's just try and see how Tai Chi's gonna do here. We haven't really knocked it back yet. It does have heavy bleeding currently. I think as long as it doesn't get a good grab on us, we should be able to handle this without too much trouble. We're getting so many criticals here. We can see that we're just slicing into it. We're stabbing it with our horns. I don't know how... Oh, yep, we are still getting some bites as well. And having a look at it, it is nearly dead. And there we go. That is a Devourer down. So let's catch our breath. And we are going to go and put on our electrical discharge. And it could also be worthwhile us putting our voltaic strikes on. And with that, we are going to try and catch our breath. We feel a strange tingling sensation, so we are being observed. I think that's it. That, or we probably have... No, nothing else there. Okay, we still have our altered momentum, which is decent. It should stop ballistic things, or at least slow them down. Okay, so let's start to make our way back out into the night that is ever foggy in the megacity, which just it gets rid of really any potential advantage that we would have with Dusk. So this house over here should be absolutely ablaze now, but I think it's probably worth us trying to see if that is indeed the case. We are seeing a slathering biter, or we were for a moment. Yeah, we are seeing quite a few dead, and it looks like, where are we seeing all of you? The shocker, 2 zappers, okay, tentacled zombie. So we're probably seeing some things closer to, well, over there. Yeah, oh man. So we can almost see a procession making their way on over. Oh my god, there's so many of them. They're all heading on over towards the house. Okay, well, I mean, kind of. There are some that sounded like they were kind of close to us. So I'm just going to keep on waiting and watching and... Oh, and that's a Night Stalker that's grabbed us. Hi there, pal. We are going to hit you with a Mind Hammer, which has staggered it. Okay, we've managed to knock it back. It's back again. And we've knocked it back. Come on, Dusk, strike this thing down. The Night Stalkers are, you know, they're bad news, and the fact that we got lit up then is not great. So yeah, see, they've seen us. So because they saw us, they're going to start making their way on over towards here. So I think what we need to do now is just run. That is a screecher. That's not great. We're going to try and get to the other side of the house here, and we just need to make some noise. I mean, obviously there's a lot of noise here already. But as long as we're kind of yelling, we should be able to... Oh my gosh, listen to all of that death and destruction. Wonderful. Wonderful. It is working, and we can see that Zapper over there is wandering over towards this location. It's hearing all of the collapses there. We're occasionally getting fire. We're just seeing through the smoke there, the light emanating from the smoldering structure. Because it is a brick house, it shouldn't burn down entirely, but it is going to burn all the floorboards and stuff like that. So there's a lot of fuel for that fire. So let's continue. Oh boy, what is that? It is a smoker that's just managed to grab us. And unfortunately... Yeah, we're in the thick of that smoke now. This thing is nearly dead, though. We're just going to run away from it for now. We're going to run away, and we need to try and get away from the smoke altogether. Okay, we are going to be coughing. Unfortunately, that means that we are going to be making a little bit of noise, but the zappers and all the rest, they do seem to be actually making their way on over towards the house. Okay, so let's start making our way back down towards the mall. We need to hope that the majority of the patrons from inside the mall have started to make their way up and out. Obviously, there's so much noise, there should be a trail of them. I am going to be trying to smash these bodies in here wherever I can. That huge boomer. We've got a zombie blank around here as well, somewhere. I honestly think it's all around this area here, but then again, because the wall is knocked down, okay, no, they're here at the moment. Okay, so we need to try and get that group there to effectively follow us. And you know what? They are doing their own thing. We are going to mind hammer this Shadow Raptor here, and hopefully, yep, they're just continuing on. This car, this big truck, does provide a little bit of a barrier, I guess, towards the house, but they still seem to be making their way through there. I'm hoping that's the Hulk that we saw inside, making their way up towards that house there. If that's the case, that would just be grand. I mean, look at them all just filing into there. We're talking about like hundreds of dead, and that, I think, I really hope it isn't. I mean, yes, we've got a shadow zombie in front of us, but is that a skeletal Hulk? Yeah, it's a skeletal juggernaut. So we're seeing juggernauts now. A hideous golem of plated bones and misshapen flesh, dragging its heavy pointed limbs behind it like an unwanted burden. Its formerly soft and vulnerable bones grow around it to form and protect it. Only they keep growing, and they keep growing and growing and growing, and now we have this, a skeletal juggernaut, a zombified Hulk that has incredible armor protection. Yeah, you just don't want to fight one of these in melee anymore. Like, pretty much full stop. The only option there is to kind of treat them like the agents in the Matrix. You just run. If you see one, you run, you get out. And obviously that isn't always an option when we have Elliot around, because he doesn't always like to run, or he runs the wrong way. So I'm going to start moving down here. I'm hoping that this great big congregation down here has started to move on, and it does kind of look like they have. So it's risky, but oh, that's a prowler. Okay, how is a prowler next to a night stalker? I mean, they're still pretty dangerous by the looks of things. They grab us, and that ain't great. A shady Struthiomius zombie. All right, let's take you down. And we do need to be cautious here. When we are smashing bodies, we are going to be using stamina, but we're not using that much at the moment. And that boomer, well, we're going to try and see if we can make that thing pop. Well, is it coming for us right now? It did see us briefly. It might actually... Yeah, follow the noise. Keep going. We've spotted a skull zombie. Man, they've destroyed this place. Look at it all. Yes, let's stop for a moment and just see what it's doing. We could always just head over towards these bodies, start smashing these ones first of all, and of course, all the ones that we're smashing right now, they are ferals. And there is a strong chance that they might have some things that are useful and or interesting to us. Those are things that we are going to explore once we've dealt with this problem. So we're just going to keep on moving through here. Any kind of real speed that we use to get towards Elliot right now isn't going to make any difference. What has happened is happened. He is either alive and fine, or he isn't. Okay, skull zombie, we are going to have to deal with you, and that slime there as well. A nice critical there. We should only need one more good strike, and there we have it. Okay, on to the next here. And you up there. Okay, we're not really losing any stamina right now, which is great. Let's try and see if we can keep it that way. And this is unreal. Dangerously close slime. Okay, where is it? Can't see it right now. Okay, it's down towards the side there. We should be able to continue on without too much trouble. Yeah, they destroyed the entire front of the mall. So this is probably all the zombie Hulk's doing. We have spotted a zombie somewhere, probably deeper in here. My gosh. Okay. Oh no. Okay. The door to Elliot's bathroom is open. We see thin smoke there. Oh my gosh. And there's so many dead in here. We can't see whether or not that door is open or closed. Okay. Dusk is holding her ground for now. We don't hear anything. We don't hear any activity. We have a zombie stumbling towards us right now. Come on. that's that one down. The Thorny Shambler, we can pull that in towards us. Dealing with that up close is going to be the best thing that we can do. So we're going to use our shove, but instead we are going to pull with that. Pulling the Thorny Shambler towards us. Unfortunately, we did knock it back then, so we are going to have to pull it towards us yet again. And we just kind of keep on knocking it back. But I think it is going to be trying to push towards us because it can't shoot all the time. I think there is a little bit of a cooldown there. There we go, that's that dealt with. Okay, so now we've just got the boomer and the grabber. Okay. I'm not seeing... I don't want to get our hopes up. We can't see that door yet, we don't know if it's been destroyed, but it's not looking great, folks. Okay, you, boomer, we are going to shove you away. We're going to push you back, and then we're going to use a mind hammer to try and see if we can pop you. Nearly. Let's throw out another dusk, and there we go. That'll do it. So, we have smoke here. We are just going to put on our mask. We do not have stamina right now, but Dusk is just going to push through. In the bathroom, surrounded by dead, was the corpse of Elliot Wood. The bark broken, battered and split. His armor undamaged. The outer armor. All that damage he took to his head. That's what did it. So, we have Elliot here. What do we do with that Dusk? She really only just got her brother back. She's not going to lose him yet. No, not like this. So then, what are we to do? Dusk knows of magic. Knows that this world has magic. Surely there is a way that she can save him, bring him back. She knows that he will come back one way or the other, but maybe she can save him yet. Maybe there is a way. Going back in her mind to seeing that horde here, she did all she could to get them away, to lead them from Elliot, but there were too many. No doubt they pushed up against the walls there, heard him inside, or could just sense that there was something close. Not with all the firepower in the world would we have been able to deal with all those dead, but now Dusk has, in a way, leading them out to that great funeral pyre. So, what then is the next move? Well, is there any way that Dusk can carry Elliot in her lifting field? If she can, then she can bring his remains with her. And I think at that point, the only option for her is to try and make it to that refugee center. Make it to where the others are. A chance to gain knowledge, a lot of knowledge at that. They may know the magic that might save her brother. So, we are going to have to wear the large rucksack for now, which is going to make her torso much more encumbered. Now, we'll go and see if we can indeed insert remains into a lifting field, which I don't know if we're going to be able to. The item is too heavy. So Elliot might be too heavy by himself, or it could be everything that he has on him currently. So let's see if we can shift everything else but Elliot off of here, and we might as well take the smoked meat out of that pack as well. I was afraid that this might have been the outcome. I know that Dusk most certainly was. So the max that we can take right now in terms of weight is 68 kgs, which is going to be too much with Elliot at the moment. He's 81 kgs. I don't know if we can get our field to be any higher than that. We can contemplate our lifting field. It would take us 1 hour and 17 minutes for us to do it. We are going to try, and we're going to have to stop. There's a zombie necromancer right here. We do not want that thing to get its hands on Elliot. We're going to force shove it away, pushing it into the distance, and then we're going to charge towards it. Dusk striking at it as it strikes her own torso. The thing is strong, damaging her right arm. Reaching out again with that force, she shoves it back against the wall, killing the creature. And we'll continue on. A skeletal zombie has been spotted now. Alright, let's make this quick. Pulling it towards us, Dusk strikes at it as it grabs a hold. With that, We'll slam it back against the wall, getting some distance, breaking that grab, getting ready to strike again. More damage to the torso, but nearly just enough to kill it. And there we go. We've finished contemplating the field. How much can we take now? 93 kgs. There we go, Dusk. That is how we do it. Okay. So, scrolling down, let's find him. Elliot Wood. Okay. And just like that, he lifts into the air, lifelessly, beside his sister, as a corrosive zombie waits. Probably one of the worst things that we could have seen. Swollen to immense proportions. This horrific thing guards the way. We can throw that away from us, and we're going to need to, because we cannot afford to get any corrosive mess onto us. So into the darkness it goes, and we're going to send it further back still, pushing it. In Dusk, we need to leave all of this behind. There is so much that can be gained here, but we've already lost what was most valuable to us. Now, we have a ticking clock. There is no doubt in my mind that Elliot will reanimate. That is going to happen. There is nothing that we can do to stop that, other than pulping his corpse, but then we have a damaged set of remains. Is that better? We need to make our way northwards, towards the subway entrance, and then all the way back home. Looking over slightly towards the east, Dusk can see that house blazing. And further in the east, she knows her true destination awaits. One that she, waited to attempt. And in that, in trying to prepare and trying to be ready, she lost him. No, she hasn't lost him. Not yet. Elliot is still with her. Yes, she will save him. She feels her powers straining, and that strange tingling sensation that comes from using them. We have a swarming amalgamation that's following us right now. We're just going to go and push that away from us, and because it's so light, it seems like we were able to send that just a dramatic distance, which is great. And that huge boomer is not so great. Neither is the caustic amalgamation, which we are just going to send away from us for now. And so, in this darkness, we are going to try and make our way all the way back to Dusk and Elliot's home. And once we are there, we are going to be preparing to hit the road. Dusk cannot afford to wait any longer. But here's the thing, the vehicle that she has, we're probably not going to be able to put any of those batteries in that vehicle. We may be able to put some, but so much of that vehicle is already wrecked. Perhaps we can take it some distance. And I would certainly like to try that, because the journey on foot would be incredibly difficult, but that is something that Dusk is willing to do now. And what about the others that are here? There are other people still surviving here. Right now, in Dusk's mind, none of that matters. None of it. That selfish but understandable need for family compels her to push on, and she will. But she'll do so going the right way, because we were going north and we actually needed to go south. Well, the small bit of good news I have for you is that we have made it back up towards the surface. We've made it through the subway relatively unscathed. Encountering a few enemies down below, we're alive. And now we just need to make our way back through the woods, back home. And there we have it. Dusk is back home. What a home. It's not something that she's going to be able to stay in very longer, but I think she hopes that she'll be able to return here one day. I mean, everything that she has here is all you'd need to be able to continue on, to live a peaceful life. That was never going to be easy for Dusk and Elliot, especially with their genetic spiraling. Most certainly in Elliot's case. But now, to just stay here? No. Dusk couldn't do that, not while there was a chance that her brother might yet be able to be saved. So, we need to prepare then for what is going to be the greatest odyssey I've ever undertaken in Cataclysm, and one that I will be doing, not entirely prepared for. So, the vehicle is not going to make it. We know that much. Traveling through the city here is going to be a nightmare. There are going to be points where we're stuck. we can't travel any further, the ideal would really be a motorcycle of some kind, but we haven't seen anything like that thus far, especially an electric motorcycle. So while the sedan can take us some distance, no doubt, I am concerned with exactly how far it's going to be able to take us. And considering how far we have to go, and to remind you all, it is quite a distance. Yeah, there it is. We can kind of just catch the edge of what we know, and we can see it. That tiny little pixel that you're seeing on your screen there. Yeah, that's what we got to try and get to. And so I have no doubt in my mind that there is no way that this vehicle would ever be able to make it. I mean, heck, it might not even be able to make it through some of these starting towns that we've got here. Like, the megacity, as we know, just continues on. So that makes me think, would it be better then for us to travel on foot? It might yet. And so, further going off of that, is there a way that we can try and ensure that Elliot will stay fresh until we are able to attain the knowledge that we need to potentially save him? We've got freezers here. The volume, would we be able to fit him in any of those? 90 liters. I mean, the volume of Elliot is only 62. He is fresh right now, a lifeless human body. If we were to freeze him, would that stop him from reanimating? I don't know. The freezer is still turned on currently. That's great. That's good. We've got lots of chunks of meat in there. We've got lots of chunks of fat in here. It's all still frozen at the moment. We could try and dehydrate more of that with our food dehydrator. We're going to need a lot of food with us, 100%. So yes, we are going to be doing a little bit of preparation before we leave. We need to keep in mind though that we can't do too much because we're going to need to get Elliot into one of these freezers if we're going to stop him from potentially reanimating. Yeah, I know. We are already tired as well. That's not great. So let's see. Dehydrated meat. We can do a fair amount of that. I wouldn't want to spend more than a few hours working at this though. And while we can get some, it's like, is that actually going to be worth it? Also, I was just making sure that the smoked meat that we got from Elliot was actually just smoked meat, and indeed it is in this case. We are also going to want to make sure that we bring firearms with us. And I've been thinking about us rocking this thing, the Spectre Rycon mech. I mean, if nothing else, we are most certainly going to be bringing a assault rifle with us with a large amount of ammunition. Hang on. Do you hear that noise? We were hearing a noise outside then briefly. Or from around here. It could just be our footsteps that are kind of echoing at the moment. Either way, Dusk is going to have to sleep here. We can find out one way or the other with this whole freezer situation if Elliot is actually going to make it. So, all that frozen meat at the moment, we could try and transfer on over into the fridge just to give it a shot. Or alternatively, you know what, the fat, because the fat does actually last quite a while. Okay, so all of that is there. Now we need to make sure that we're actually putting something in the fridge and we're not just leaving it on the floor. So having a look here, we can see when you're moving to something, we can see mini freezers. So we actually know that something is going there. So we're going to say drop, but then I'm going to make sure that we try and shift Elliot actually into the freezer. So if we have a look here now, mini freezer, corpse of Elliot Wood, human. Yup. Okay, that's that. That is that. While we are here, we most certainly need to boil some of those bandages that we have. So let's have a look at doing that before anything else. We can actually just make regular bandages as well. Cotton patches, duct tape, and antiseptic can allow us to make actual bandages. We don't want to use the medical gauze unless we're kind of getting more bandages out of this, but it seems like, oh no, the recipe makes 3. So 1 gauze we can turn into 3 bandages. So that's not actually a bad option for us. It only takes a minute for us to do that. So let's do the cotton patches first. We'll use the medical tape because we use a lot less of that when we're doing that. And let's make sure that we grab those bandages. There we go. And we'll see if we can make some more. Bandage. Wonderful. We can. We can make 1 at the moment because we're running out of antiseptic, it seems. Okay. Well, unfortunate, but not the end of the world. 3 bandages there. Excellent. We're going to take these makeshift bandages as well, and then we're going to go and boil the rest of those bandages because then they're still going to be decent. And this recipe makes 9. Well, yeah, it gives you 9. Let's use the microwave, and we have some clean water left over, which we are just going to pour, first of all, into our hydration pack and then into the keg there. Excellent. Let's grab the 45 boiled makeshift bandages. And now we do have a few other just like basic things that we need to try and get done at the moment. Our tablet PC, we want to go and store some more information from memory cards. And we'll just make sure that we don't have any unread books. It looks like we have them all entirely read at the moment. And every single one of these should be scanned. I've been pretty good about doing that. Now we just need to drop off anything that we don't need. And there's going to be a lot of things that we don't need. There's a lot of tools that I'm going to not need to bring with me. And I'm going to try and be a little bit more ruthless with that. Okay, we've dropped off a lot of stuff, but we are most certainly going to be picking up some more things before we leave here. And we are going to be making sure that we get a proper rest as well, because we do still want to be traveling at night, because the daytime is just going to be a nightmare in general for us. Although in saying that, I wonder if we have protection from the sun while we're using this. The Spectre will be better at night in general because it does have a heat sensor on it, so yeah. Regardless, it's nearly the morning, so we'll want to make sure that we actually have a proper good sleep, but I'm just going to go through, I'm going to make sure that we aren't leaving any food behind specifically that could be useful to us on the road. The calcium tablets we're probably going to take because we've been needing more of those, and we're just going to stock up on painkillers because I feel like we're probably going to need some more of them. Vitamins as well. Well, it seems like we can mount into the mech just fine with everything that we are currently wearing, which is great, and wielding. It also gives us more weight carrying capacity, which is also fantastic. I am wanting to try and see if we can get the battery sorted with it though. So right now the battery level is at 61%. So we're going to remove the mech's battery and just see what that battery is. Military plutonium fuel cell. Okay, so I don't know if that's something that we can just charge up. A battery that uses plutonium-244 to stabilize an exotic nano compound. It cannot be recharged. Okay, it's a stupendous amount of power though, so we need to keep that in mind. Okay, so let's insert the battery pack back into there then, and know that, yeah, unfortunately we're not going to be able to charge that up. So be it. So be it. I suppose it's probably worth us actually just bringing that back inside then, if we're not going to be leaving just yet. And look, we're seeing so much better even with all of the fog that we're dealing with currently. Unfortunately, you can't close doors with this thing, but that's okay. Let's just lock it up in here again, just in case Elliot awakens during the evening. As far as preparation goes, though, I have prepared everything I possibly can. We have an AR-15, which has a fair amount of ammunition left. The static magazine, we're going to go ahead and reload. We're going to get some fresh ammunition from in here. We are leaving some ammunition behind just because we can't afford to bring too much. We also have a M9 combat pistol that is going to be our sidearm. We are going to need to scavenge a lot while we are on the move. I would like to try and see if we had any other purification tablets left though. No, but we got the purification seed scrolls, which unfortunately we can't do much with. The soda can stove kit could be something that could be useful. Mess kits can also just be pretty good in general. Honestly, if we just had like a basic heat pad, that would be great. I think we're just going to have to keep our eye out for something like that. Dusk is going to be living an interesting existence to say the least. This is, well, it's not what I prepared or planned for, but that's the thing with Cataclysm. It's moments like these that create the story, that create our motivation going forwards. Now, we do still have these artifacts here. We don't quite know exactly what they do, and I don't think we can afford to play around with them too much. So for now, we are going to turn the lights off down here. Everything is still powered up currently. The freezers are still freezing. Let's go to sleep and hope that we can sleep. And as for Caterpillar, well, bringing a cat across country, especially when we're not using the vehicle, is going to be, well, not good. I think we might just have to... Well, here's the thing. If we go outside with Caterpillar won't stand a chance. But we can load up food in here and leave Caterpillar, knowing that Dusk intends to return here. Okay, it is 6:41 p.m. at the moment. It is still an hour until sunset at the moment. We're going to make our way downstairs, and, well, we don't see any activity yet. We have a cold corpse here, not frozen yet. It does seem to take a while for the freeze to take effect. I am concerned about him reanimating before he actually ends up freezing, though. For now, Dusk is going to drink a lot of clean water. It looks like we might actually also have some more smoked meat around here. Indeed, there is, so we're going to be sure to bring that with us. We could also have a look at cooking up some crackling as well. And there we go, 42 cracklins. And as you can see, we can eat quite a lot of that. We've only spent 4,000 calories, but we've nearly consumed 12,000 at this stage, so that's good. Okay, I think that's gonna be it. No doubt there are things that I'm going to regret leaving behind. That's how these things work, but Dusk has got to get going. Got to get moving. She has a long way to go. It is, yet again, another foggy night out, which is just like non-stop. And we know that the weather system isn't exactly broken. It's not working as it should, that's for certain. But it's not entirely broken because we have seen rain occasionally. Everything's closed up for now. Back into the mech we go. And ideally, I think the thing is with this mech, we try not to fire where possible because, well, for one, it's not super accurate. And really, it's just going to give us sight of things around us. That's the most important thing that it can do for us right now. Our torso is getting warm. That it is. I'm surprised that it's getting as warm as it was because we were a good temperature for a little while, but I guess I'm not surprised. That's the Mana Luminous making us that bit hotter. So, Dusk, we need to plot a route, a way forwards, and honestly, it looks at this rate that it might be safest for us to try and take this kind of green band that goes up and along here and out along this forest trail, of which we don't know where it leads. This could also be leading to water or something else, we don't know. But we are going to be traveling to the east, far to the east. But Legionnaires, that is going to be in the next episode. I'd like to thank you for joining me for this tragedy, but it is one that gives Dusk focus. I know to some it's probably disappointing that we've been working towards getting this vehicle up and running and turning it into a monstrous machine so that it might keep us safe. But situations change, and so do motivations. Dusk's motivation right now is to find survivors, real survivors, a group, civilization, whatever is left of it. And that refugee center, that may yet be her best chance. And while it is a monumental, massive journey to make it there, making it back may not be so difficult, especially if she's able to find more magic. She's seen a number of magic gates thus far, just to the west of this farmstead. If she can unlock how to utilize those, then she can find her way back home far easier. Nomadic Cataclysm. When you're on the move with nothing but you and the road, that is the Cataclysm that I enjoy more than anything. We have days ahead of us, sleeping in old abandoned sheds, teetering office towers, and silent bowling alleys. I hope you all will continue to join me as the Odyssey begins and the greatest task of Dusk's life is set before her. And I ask you all, if you enjoyed today's episode, please consider leaving a comment or a like to let me know if you enjoyed the show. As for now, I have been Rycon. You have all been awesome. And until next time, stay tuned.